Good morning, afternoon, day, and night, everyone. And welcome back to another episode of Little Potato Podcast. I am your host for this evening, Brandon, and with me we have pro gamer nerd number one, Axel.
Yellow. I know my controllers definitely.
And then PC part picker, Ivan.
Let's go, PC Master Race. Fuck controllers.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, welcome back, everyone. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Pretty fucking good. I think.
Yeah, especially because now the snow is falling.
Oh yeah, and also something happened earlier today that literally made me make noises I didn't know I could make, and I'm really happy about it.
Sure. But
I'm talking about
you
League
can
of Legends.
yeah, if you can't already tell by the design of the episode so far, or even just the title, we're back to our roots, back to our tier list. This time we have video game controllers.
Let's go.
I don't believe we've done consoles yet. We could do consoles at another time. But let's start with the controllers. The thing we used to play the controllers.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of find it funny that just a little tip of what we should do in the future. We should do a keyboard tier list too.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I haven't used enough keyboards to be like, yeah, this is like definitive.
I've used plenty of them. Or
Same.
mice tier list. I think we've went through way more mice than we did keyboards.
Okay, I'm also gonna be honest with that. There's like 3 mice I've ever used, and I've been stuck with the third one I've ever used and never switched off of it.
G502 gang.
Yeah, G502.
G502 Lightning.
Yeah.
Wireless G502 gang.
Wireless.
Actually, I think we're all wireless.
Yeah, we're all wireless.
I was the first. I was the first. I will say I was the first.
No, yeah, I will give it. Brandon convinced me to get the wireless because I am a wired guy. I don't trust wireless shit. But the G502 Lightspeed, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the light speed.
Oh,
it says at the
it's
bottom.
right there. Yeah, I don't know if it. Let me focus it real quick. There you go, G502 Lightspeed. If you can read it, I don't know if it's backwards. It's backwards on my screen. But anyway, yeah, he convinced me on that.
Just because
It's
the extra
awesome.
buttons on the side, which I like.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's more of that wires do get in the way, but the fact that the speed, the latency,
Also, I like the
is on
comfortability of
par.
it too.
Yeah, G502
I mean, it's the
is
same.
literally the best mouse ever created because it's so good.
Gaming mice.
Gaming mice. Correction. Yes, my bad.
Yes.
There are better
the best
Get one with the- get one with the ball
productivity
at the
mice.
bottom.
No. The best productivity mice, I would say, I give it to the Logitech. I think it's called the MX Master mouse. Something like that. It's kind of like it's like not vertical, but it's like
A side
I
grip.
forgot.
It's
so
a fat
comfortable.
boy. It's a fat
Yeah,
boy.
y'all know what it is. Y'all seen it on mice
Yeah,
before, I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But I'm just using the G502 right now.
But anyways, that's
Oh,
not the tier
yeah.
list.
Yeah, that's
So
not
it's
tier
just-
list, but hey, I like
So
talking about
we
mice.
have a decent amount of controllers to go through. As you can see, we have our normal set of S, A, B, C, and then the Who tier list. Just because there are a couple controllers on here where we personally have never came across, or probably will come across in the future at some point, hopefully.
Maybe, yeah. If it
Yeah,
doesn't cost
Or more of the ones that we
$300,000.
just, we've just never used them. Because there are some consoles that are literally not being made anymore, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
older than us.
And the secondhand
So-
market on some of these consoles is actually ridiculous. And
Yeah.
it's
Some of them
probably
I mean, I
not
wouldn't
worth it.
mind. I wouldn't mind eventually getting these just for collector purposes, but
That's what I did. I mean, I have all PlayStation consoles 1 through 5, and
Yeah.
then I have an N64. So,
Mhm.
and a Cube.
Yeah.
I have a Cube as well.
I believe
I'm-
Axel and I nearly have almost all as well. We just don't have the original the Xbox. Maybe like the N64 and the
Yeah, we never had a
NES
64.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have everything else, pretty much.
yeah, but we had everything else. At least all the PlayStations, except for the 5.
Yeah, we had 1,
I
2,
need to find
3,
a
everything.
Fat Boy PlayStation 2. Because I have Fat Boy PlayStation 3.
Yeah,
Because I have
ours-
the one with the sliding top.
Yeah, we have
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Ours, that's technically called the Slim,
Yeah, I don't like
even
it.
though it's fat. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna start it off with the first one, which is actually the Wii U Pro Controller.
So I don't want to say anything that's wrong, but I want to
I've
say
never
I did
used
come
this.
across this.
I've never used this, and looking at the
Because-
picture of it,
Yeah.
So we are using Wikipedia's list of gaming controllers like of all time, like release dates one. So it's a Bluetooth controller with 2 clickable analog sticks, 13 digital buttons, and a D-pad.
Mm.
13 digital buttons? There's no way.
1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then the D-pad's
Yeah,
1, so that's 13.
Yeah, and there's probably trigger buttons on there too.
Mhm.
We're probably not seeing. But I've never used this.
Neither have I.
I think I have before.
I'm gonna like just because visually, I'm gonna put this at a C.
Well, if you
Personally
haven't
for
used it, I guess you have to put in the Who part.
Yeah, but I've used a
I
Wii
think-
U
I think
before,
I've
but not
used
the
it.
Pro Controller.
Yeah, but they're different.
Well, only reason why I'm saying like even though I haven't used it, I would say C is because the fucking analog sticks are at the top
Oh yeah.
of the controller, which I do not like.
No,
I don't know why, but personally for me, it would go into Who, but if I had used it, it would go in immediately into C.
You know, I literally didn't realize. Yeah, it's at the very top.
Just like the Wii U as well, they're at the very top.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I say we can
Yeah.
collectively put this in its own shit category of C, or we should just put it in Who. I say
Yeah,
we
just
put
put
in
in
C.
Who.
Put in Who. And now we have the more recent.
So-
excuse me. We have the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. The
But
combined pair.
combined version,
Yeah,
which is a C, which that thing's shit.
Dude, that is the worst controller probably I've ever held.
It's
Yeah.
just it's
It
not
is
meant
so
for
bad.
it's meant for small hands, not big hands.
No, yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like
The
the
Switch
Joy-Cons-
itself is such a small console.
yeah, the Joy-Cons themselves are already pretty bad, and then you try to like have this little makeshift thing to try to make into a what somewhat cohesive controller, and it's like it's just terrible.
Yeah, I think in that
Yeah.
case,
I'd
just
put
because
it in D if there was one.
we'll put in the lowest point at this point, C.
Yeah.
C, unfortunate.
And then after that, we have just single, just a Joy-Con, because you can
Which-
convert those into single controllers.
So I think this is also C,
But it's better.
better than the combined.
It's way fun. It's weird. Like we could put
Yeah.
it above it. I don't. It's a weird thing to say that it's better as a single than it is combined.
It still sucks because it's small as fuck, and like especially if you're playing like Mario Kart or whatever, my hands cramp so hard after playing for a little bit with it.
Yeah, it's weird. I just don't like it.
Yeah, it's whack.
Yeah, but and then
Oh.
to round it off.
Sorry, just before we go any further, fuck Activision
Oh
Blizzard,
yeah, fuck them.
fuck Nintendo,
Fuck Nintendo.
fuck Sony.
They suck.
Fuck everyone.
Yeah.
But then to round it all off on a more positive note, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller.
This one's good.
A or S for me personally.
This is
No,
an easy.
not an
I
S.
give it's an A.
A. I'm glad.
I'm okay with an A.
I can put
I'm
that
okay
in A.
with
It's a really, really good controller. I have one. Brandon.
I'm gonna personally for me, I don't like the layout of the controller, but it's a good controller nonetheless. This is gonna be a recurring thing for me, which I'll get into later. Oh, you're gonna grab his. Okay, I'm gonna say
this isn't on there. Sorry, I just put on my headphones, but this isn't on the tier list. But I have a contender for a spot that's better than the Pro controller. I've been using this. It's called the 8-bit Dough. I think this is like the ultimate controller. And it really reminds me of the Pro controller. I think it's more based off of like the Xbox controller, but I think
No,
it
that
looks
looks like
more
the
like a Pro
Pro.
controller.
that is definitely more based
Yeah.
off a Pro.
And
Yeah.
this is what I use for my PC. I mean, it's still too small for me. And we'll get into the other controllers. 'Cause
Yeah, well,
for me, at least
the thing
PlayStation
is-
makes the better ones.
the thing is that's a third party controller, so it's not really technically.
It is. Yeah, but I think this is this is on par with first party. Definitely better made than Nintendo Pro
Okay, well,
controllers.
First of
Um,
all,
And it's wireless.
Most third party controllers are literally just straight up better than the actual controllers because of how the main proprietors, when they make their controllers, like, you know, stick drift.
Try to make it as cheap as possible.
Yeah, it's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh yeah, you can buy these controls. So this one doesn't have it because I bought this before they revised it. But you can now buy this. Like I think this is the default with the what are they called? It's the magnetic joysticks. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
The not Raycons. That's a fucking
Like
Oh,
adaptive.
No. I forgot the name of it. I kind of want to look it up, but you can buy them with the magnetic analog sticks. Well, I mean, it's not analog anymore. It's magnetic. And if you literally have that on any controller, you literally eliminate stick drift for like eternity because magnets don't drift.
But yeah.
So yeah, I will say this is such a good controller. I just wish it was bigger. Oh, Hall Effect joysticks.
Not sponsored.
There you go.
Yeah, not sponsored, but dude, honestly, if y'all need a good controller, this shit is so good. I will. The only downside, it is not Nintendo compatible. I don't think. But
That's fucking hilarious.
That's
which is hilarious. Yeah, but it does work like on the Xbox or the PlayStation or any of that stuff if you want to.
Literally anything else.
Excuse me.
All right.
I think it's for
But-
PlayStation. I
So
definitely
with
know
that,
Xbox. Though.
let's continue because we have a bunch.
Now we
Yep.
move to the Atari 2600 controller. It's called the
Okay.
Atari CX40 joystick.
I'm gonna put this in A.
This one,
I
Yes.
personally would give it an S if we could.
I'm almost on you with that because joystick controllers are fucking awesome.
They're so
Really?
fun because
Yes, actually, do you not remember we used to have this one?
No, I'm just saying I'm gonna put this like either B or A. I'm not gonna put this in S tier.
Okay, I'm okay with A though, but dude,
I'm okay with A,
joystick
though.
controllers are so fucking good.
Like,
yeah, because I used to have it was one of the anniversary Atari like systems like they have now like the PlayStation or like the NES. Like it has like just a whole bunch of games like already put on it.
Yeah.
But
It's-
like so
yeah,
I would
yeah,
play like a ton of those games like all the time
Yeah.
like
when I was
it-
younger.
it's cool, but like the function of the controller of itself is limited because it's
you're
limited to 2D environments and cannot work in a 3D environment unless
wrong.
no,
Wrong.
yeah.
Ace Combat.
Well, partially true.
I forget there was a tank game in there too.
Yeah, any kind of like if you want to control machinery stuff like airplanes
Yeah,
and stuff like
I
that,
was about to say because like
joystick is the only way.
in PlanetSide 2, you can actually it has what is this again? Joystick is joystick compatible because most of the aircrafts are hovercrafts, so using a joystick is very much plausible. There's this vehicle called the Valkyrie, and some of the most nuttiest Valkyrie flyers in the game use a joystick.
Yeah.
It's kind of
No,
fucking crazy
joysticks
what
are
they can
so
do with
good.
it. Which now I might give it an S because of how crazy it is, but it's like
I'm okay with an A.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I'll
say
leave it
S,
an
but for
yeah, it's pretty good.
for what it
A.
is,
The
it's so
nostalgia
simple, but
regions,
it's so
it's an
good.
S, but it's still an A controller.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're moving on to the next controller, which is a Master System controller, which I've never even heard of this system before.
I
As a
have
who?
no idea what this is.
I've seen this design before. It was like so it was originally, I'm just reading off of the wiki like it says. So the Master System is an 8-bit third generation home video game console manufactured by and developed by Sega. It was originally a remodeled export version of the Sega Mark III, the third iteration of the SG-1000 series of consoles, which was released in Japan in 1985. They released nationwide in 86.
Mm.
But just looking at the controller itself, it only has a D-pad and 2 buttons. It's like a reworked NES controller, which we'll get into later.
Yeah.
But I've never used it. I don't know if about the other guys.
Nope.
No, I have
I'm
not.
putting in who.
So this is a Who category.
Yeah.
I like the
Now
look
we
of
get
it
into
though.
something it is nice,
Yeah. It looks
but
cool, but I'm not
it's,
sure.
it's no NES though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now we get something
So-
that's a little bit more familiar with the Sega Genesis.
Sega.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis Mega Drive controller.
This is
as
a
it's
B for
called.
me.
It is
I'm not a fan
uh,
of those bubbles.
BC, yeah, it's kind of bulky, and I don't
I'm
like
I'm
it.
putting it in
It-
C.
Yeah.
So uncomfortable.
I would
It's
say
a lot
that.
of these. I don't know. It's just yeah, like it's uncomfortable to hold. It's awkward since we're so used to the big controllers as it is, or like certain
Yeah.
controllers.
Ergonomic designers didn't come in until like 2005.
No, they didn't.
Exactly.
They didn't care about that. They just cared about it. Does it
Yeah.
look cool or not?
Yeah. Ergonomics wasn't a thing until like we got to like the PS2 era.
Mhm.
But this one had 4 digital buttons and a D-pad. So it had one.
4.
I know. And then along came the Sega Saturn with the Sega Saturn controller
This is
Yeah.
with 9 buttons and a D-pad.
This shit was
I'm
garbage.
gonna say this is a nah.
This is garbage.
This
I've-
look it's better.
I've never used a Sega Saturn controller.
I don't know if I've used this exact one, but I remember using a controller that looks very similar to this. So it might have been the Sega Saturn. Is what I used.
I've used it.
It
I don't
wasn't
like
on a
how it
Sega
feels.
Saturn,
I don't
but-
like how the buttons feel when I press them. That's why I want to put it
Oh.
in C tier.
Maybe going to another seats here. Is
Yeah.
it better than the
Okay.
Genesis controller?
I would say better
Technically,
than
yes,
Genesis.
but the buttons still feel weird. I don't like them.
Understandable.
Gotcha. And then Sega, not Sega. Is it? Is
That's
it Sega?
Dreamcast.
Yeah, no, it is Sega. So
Sega.
Sega and their Infinite Wisdom came out with the Dreamcast.
No, this is Dreamcast.
The infinite wisdom.
Yeah, and then they came out with the Dreamcast controller, which is like is bulky as hell.
It is a fucking chonker, dude.
But I do like the hold on, I gotta find what it's actually called. So it had like a little port where you can put little
Expansion.
like it's like dock connectors for like VMUs, apparently.
So what it's called?
Yeah, it's what I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
But like because if you look at the little things, you can store save files onto those or play mini games on those as well, because those are actually mini controllers that for that little hole in the middle they can connect
Yeah,
in.
I never really played on the Dreamcast, so I'm not too knowledgeable in this area.
It's a B just because it's a little chunkier, but it's the buttons were I think a little too small, and the connected wire came from the bottom rather
Yeah,
than
I
the
was
top.
about to say.
So personally for me, I would put it in B, just because it's a lot better than the other controllers that we've just previously talked about. Besides the other
Yeah.
two,
Just to get
Okay.
something in B.
Put in B.
mm-hmm.
All right.
And now we're gonna get into something a little controversial, just between Ivan and Axel.
And a couple of
Okay.
friends.
Is the Wii U?
Okay. So
Well, before you
about
get
it-
into anything,
yeah.
I'm gonna put this at the bottom of C personally, just because it's the same thing as the Wii U Pro controller. The buttons are on, the analog sticks are on top, and it's an uncomfortable piece of shit for me.
Okay, just because the analog is on top doesn't make it bad.
I don't like it.
Here, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
The reason why I don't like it is because I'm more in tune with PlayStation controllers, which having it on the bottom, so move my thumbs extra up just doesn't make sense for me.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it's easier have them down so you're less straining your fingers.
It is an awkward design for the
No, it's
console
not.
because of the screen.
Exhibit
And
A,
yet-
the Steam Deck.
see,
has
that's an
a-
awkward ass design though.
It's not. If you actually use the Steam Deck, it is really fucking comfortable. Just because an analog is on the top doesn't make it bad. Because it's like, I don't know. It's perfect. I wouldn't want my thumbs down here. That would make it fucking awkward. Up here is more natural. Just saying. I mean, also our buttons are up here. So hold on. Yeah. See, that's a bit awkward because the D-pad here, I don't know if I'm showing this right. The D-pad and the buttons are right next to the analog, if you can see that,
Mm-hmm.
versus on the Wii U is below it. And that's worse. What's below on the Steam Deck is the trackpad, which you basically never really use at all. So I don't know. Valve perfected this design, and it's so
See,
fucking good.
Personally, I don't like it just because I'm more in tune with PlayStation controllers and having them on the bottom. So I've used a Wii U before. I just don't like it.
You need to
Okay.
actually try out and play on a Steam Deck.
Also,
and it'll
just to-
change your mind.
Just to say, Ivan, the Wii U fell so the Steam Deck could run. Just saying.
I'm not saying it's a bad console. But I mean, but it actually is a bad console.
It's not a bad
but
console. Just people didn't like it.
Statistically, it is a
weird-
bad console.
Yeah, statistically,
bad
it's a bad console, but it's not a bad console in the least bit.
Yeah. So this is where it got controversial. So before this episode was being made, we were thinking about what we should do. And Axel put this in, and I made a comment of, this is not a controller. This
Easy-
shouldn't be on this list.
a controller.
And the indisputable proof to prove that all y'all are wrong, very easy. Look it up. Look up Wii U controller. There are none. If you look it up, none. The actual game pad, which by the way, it's called a game pad, not a controller, is what is actually being sold as. If you look up a controller, it's literally anything else but the Wii gamepad. And I've checked. I'm on everything. I'm on eBay, Amazon, Newegg, GameStop,
Yeah.
everywhere. Doesn't call it a controller. It is not a controller. That's
Do you
basically
know,
saying,
do you know
no,
what
the
do you-
PlayStation
do you know
Portal
where
is a
it
controller
says
too, then.
controller? Do you
It's
want,
a gamepad.
Do you want to know where it says controller?
It's a gamepad.
On the wiki. The Wii U gamepad is a standard game controller
Okay,
for the Nintendo Wii U
since-
home video console.
To be fair, when has Wikipedia ever been a credible source?
When has fucking
Anyone can
looking
edit.
up on Best Buy a credible source?
No,
Or
no,
eBay
actually, no.
a credible
there's,
source?
no, there's a good valid reason, because industry standards are actually what we go by on things.
Okay, so now you're gonna trust a giant store instead of people trying to do research on a wiki
It's
page.
not a controller.
I'm not
So
I'm
the
not the
PS
one putting out saying wiki page is a valid thing either, because it's wiki. Like, how much can you trust that? But I'm questioning
Exactly.
your logic in
It's
trying
not
to
a controller.
validate it is a controller.
It's a gamepad.
It's a gamepad controller.
I mean, even though technically controller is a gamepad, this one it's kind of like a gamepad can be a controller, but a controller's not a gamepad.
Whatever. It came with
It's
the
a
Wii U.
it's a marginalized handheld.
It's a handheld. I mean, but you can't use this gamepad without
the console.
Oh, also, I'm pretty sure Nintendo calls it a gamepad too, not a controller. So
Well-
if you want to go by that, the people who created it don't call it a controller. I don't know how you can get it more indisputable from that. Just saying. I'm right, you're wrong. All y'all are dumb. This shouldn't be on here, but I do like the gamepad. I just wish the console was better.
Wait, I'm trying to read. Can you use the gamepad without a TV? Yes,
No,
you can.
Yeah, you can. You don't
But
need the TV
you
on.
Still
That-
you still need the block though, which is the actual console.
Yeah, no, you still need it. Yes, but what I'm saying is that the PlayStation Portal is the exact same thing as the Wii U stuff. So are you calling the PlayStation Portal a controller?
Okay, first
When
let me
it's
look up
not.
PlayStation Portal because I have no idea what the heck that is.
I'll send it to you. I have it pulled
Okay.
up right here because I was prepared.
Yeah, show me the PlayStation Portal.
It's
It's
this
an
thing. Do you not
Android-
remember?
oh, It's an Android
and
operating system.
yeah, but here's the thing. Do you call that a controller? But it's not.
It's like
It's not a controller. It's a remote play thing, which is exactly like the Wii U. It's a handheld device.
Can you play games without the use of the console?
I think you need to have a console dedicated on with the portal.
Because if you can use this without the console, then that means that's different. Because the Wii U the Wii U pad cannot be used without its console.
Yeah, no. It says right here, no TV required, but you can play your PS5 controller even when someone else is using the TV. It's a remote play device. So it needs to be connected to your PS5 or
Yes, and this
PS5
would be
Pro or
considered a
whatever.
controller.
no, it's not.
Yes,
Not
it
a
would be.
controller. No, it's its own device. It's a handheld.
This would be considered a controller, yes, because it requires a
Then
console.
why is it?
Because it requires a console for it to be used. If it wasn't like the Switch, because the Switch is a hybrid, because it can play its games without the needing of a base console to connect to. And same with the Steam Deck. Steam Deck does not require a base home console to connect to work on its own.
But if I use Chiaki, whatever, the PlayStation Remote Play on my Steam Deck, does it magically turn my Steam Deck into a controller then?
No, because it can
Even though it's a console?
No, because it can function on its own without needing a console.
I don't think that's the definition of what a controller is.
I still think my logic is still sound because it functionally cannot work on its own. If it cannot work on its own without anything else, without connecting to a certain base on its own, then therefore it cannot be a console. I mean, a controller.
But then what distinguishes the PS Portal versus another PS5 controller? If they're both controllers.
Okay, well, first of all, neither can work without a PS5. You're just sitting there with the
No.
Yes.
You can use the PS5 controller on PC.
Exactly, because it's connected to a base console.
PC, not a console.
You can use the controller on PC through Bluetooth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, you're using something to play a game through it. You can just have a blank screen and not be able to do anything.
I don't.
No, that makes sense.
We have
that makes sense.
No. I see what you're getting at. I see your understanding, but I think we're disagreeing on what constitutes as a controller. Like what the definition of a controller is. Because I mean, technically, yes, they're all controlling a thing on the game, but my thing is that it's different because it has that screen.
I feel like adding a screen shouldn't take away from it being a controller or not.
But it's an entirely different thing, though.
You can say the same thing with having
with another. No.
So according to this, a game controller, gaming controller, or simply a controller is an input device or input/output device used with video games or entertainment systems to provide input to a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, then technically a mouse is a controller, a keyboard is a controller.
Keyboard is a controller,
Yes.
yeah. Exactly.
Yes,
They're not control.
Yes, they are. They use to control things. I feel like you're trying to argue for the sake of arguing at this point.
Okay, I think you're making the term too broad. I'm trying to get more specific.
The next sentence literally says input devices that can be classified as a game controller include keyboards, mouse.
Oh, that's funny.
Game pads and joysticks.
Okay,
no,
argument's
done.
specific
No,
purpose
argument's
device.
done at this
No,
point.
no.
No, the argument is done.
That's too broad. That's too broad.
I feel like you're in denial at this point.
Okay. When I say controller, what pops up in your head?
Something you hold
Not
in your
this.
Oh, of course.
This though.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
That's not an idea. That's not your typical viewpoint of the controller. Like, have you seen fighting game controllers? Like, those do not look like anything you would typically have in your
those
typical
are
video.
game pads.
Yeah, exactly. Those things are fucking massive. They have a billion buttons. But that's still considered a controller. Leave down in the comments down below what the fuck you mean a controller is. Am I right or is Ivan wrong? See,
okay.
Let's have a discussion in the comments down below.
I think we're both right.
Yeah, no, we are both right, but I'm saying
we're both right.
Well, okay.
But logically speaking, in normal terms, they're different.
They are different.
Not all controllers look the same.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know they don't all look the same, but when you picture a controller, you think of something like this. You don't think of something like this. I mean, okay, I know that's its own console.
Because that is the console.
But you know what I mean. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, you think of this, not this. This has different functionality than this. With a normal controller, you need the TV or monitor or whatever. With this, you don't need it. It's a separate device. It needs to be powered somehow.
But like we said for both the Wii U, but for the examples of both the Wii U and the PlayStation Portal, they cannot work on their own. They must need a device to connect to for the function to work.
I don't think that's
this is just poor design by Nintendo altogether for this shitty ass console.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
getting so worked up over a shitty console.
To be fair, Nintendo does call it a gamepad, not a controller. The people who created it don't even call it a controller.
Still, it may be called, but it's still classified as a controller. Anyways, where are we putting this? Where are we putting
Whack.
this piece of
C.
garbage in? See,
Honestly, for
I
what
put
it is,
B.
I'm putting in A.
really?
No.
Have
lying
y'all
to me.
ever actually used a Wii U?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess we know your thing because you don't like the analog on the top. But I actually really like the design of the Wii U.
We can put it in
The only
B.
time I did use it, I'm okay with B. But the only time I did use it was when I was with Reed and stuff like that, and we played a lot of stuff on the Wii U. But I really did like it.
Yeah,
I thought it was a really cool console. I honestly really don't know why it flopped.
because
it really should have
no. So
done better.
a lot of people
I
speculate.
think it's just because it was confused marketing.
yeah, it was confused marketing. Consider the Wii to Wii U.
Yeah.
They thought it was like some like store add-on or whatever to the original Wii. They should have called it something else. They
Yeah.
called it something else. It probably would have done much better.
But it really is a good console.
But I mean that's why the Wii U failed so the Switch could run. So
The Switch is also bad.
and then the Switch fell so the fucking Steam Deck could run.
Well, the Switch is doing decent. It's just
Yeah.
not meant for big
No.
hands.
No, the Switch is doing really good. Brandon sent the I mean, this is also on Wikipedia, so you can only speculate how truthful it is. But it looks pretty right. The top 3 most
So
popular.
what are you saying? Yeah, just best-selling gaming consoles.
Yeah, the best-selling gaming consoles, of course, PlayStation 2. No one can beat that. Second is Nintendo DS, and then third is the Nintendo Switch.
yeah.
And that's
Um,
still rising technically.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
since
still
it's still being
available.
sold. But it's doing really good.
I like
But-
how like the first
I don't like it.
second, third, and fourth are Nintendo things, and then the first Microsoft thing doesn't go until what is this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the 9th spot with the 360.
Hey, it's in the top 10 though.
Yeah, it's the only Microsoft thing. So that's
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Microsoft is the last one in the market.
Mhm.
Like they're literally the last, the youngest company to come up for your console. And the fact that they're still decently competing against the top 2, like Nintendo and PlayStation, you gotta give them some credit.
Yeah.
I mean, as of right now, the Xbox Series S and S is according to this is 28.3 million units versus the PS5, which is the 61.7 million units, and then the Nintendo Switch altogether is 143.42 million units, which is
Yeah.
can still go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing that I found funny was the Quest 2
Yeah, already at 20
selling
million
around
units.
20 million. I have a Quest 2. Even though it's called the Meta Quest 2 or the Meta 2 or something like that. I know they rechanged their name.
Riz
Um,
rebranded as the MetaQuest 2 in 2022.
Yeah, Meta Quest. Because it was Oculus. But they sold a lot. I didn't realize how much they actually sold.
Yeah.
Sold more than the Wii U, by the way.
Yeah, it's been out for 4 years from what it looks like. So
Yeah, that's doing really good.
it's the same thing with the other 2 consoles, the 5 and the Xbox X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, so
But that's
overall we're putting the Wii U at B.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll
now,
put it at B. Overall, it's good, but it's still not a controller.
so now we go a little bit more old school
Shout out.
with this red controller, which is actually an NES controller for the Famicom.
Pretty good.
So
I love this.
it's literally just an NES controller, just reworked. I think this was the
Red.
original design.
Red.
I've never used this personally.
I'm not a
I-
fan of it.
I love it.
I put in C.
You put it in C. You're willing to put it in B because I actually really love this controller.
Well, I
I'll do it
haven't
at
used
high C.
High
I
C.
see.
All right, fine.
I'll put it below the single Joy-Con
I'm okay with
because I
that.
don't know.
Yeah, single Joy-Con is better than it.
It as awkward as that may sound, but
Just trust
Now-
me, bro.
now we get to go to the Xbox controller.
The
This thing's
original
horrendous.
Xbox.
Apparently,
Holy-
this is called the Duke.
yeah.
It's horrendous.
It's
I've
fucking
used
ass.
it before. It is so fucking bad. Honestly,
bad.
I am so surprised Xbox made it alive out of this controller.
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah.
garbage.
Holy
This is-
shit, it's so
this
bad.
This is bottom of the barrel.
Yes.
See as it goes. See, this is like the one time chunkiness doesn't mean good.
No.
You know what I mean?
I never
'Cause
liked
you-
chunky.
'Cause
Well, it
it's-
depends on where you put the chunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The junk in
where
the
you
trunk?
put it, matters because there are some technically controllers here that are technically bulky, but they're not like bad because of their bulk. But we'll get to those.
Oh, I
when they
just
come up.
realized. Just realized. I'll get to it in a second. But now
Yeah.
we move to the 360 controller.
A.
The Xbox.
I don't know about A.
360
This one's
was-
like a B or an A. B or
This
A.
is
I'm
an
okay.
A.
I'm okay with high B. High B.
I give it an A. As much as
Ooh.
I don't like Xbox, this is a pretty decent controller.
Let's go.
Yeah, but
A.
there's like
Yeah.
better
The-
controllers down the line though. Like
Well,
And we'll
Okay.
get to those. This is like
Yes.
for like nostalgic purposes as well.
at
Because
the
like
time, just saying, at the time, the 360 controller was the gold standard for what a controller should be.
yeah,
Just saying.
Mhm.
This is when they were like, okay, maybe we should make our controllers ergonomic.
yes,
Okay,
Just
fine.
maybe.
fine. Where do you want to put in A then? Low A.
just the
We could
bottom.
put like low A, yeah.
And now we get to move to the Xbox wireless controller. This is for the
Well-
Xbox One, and then it's also standard for the Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah, this is Xbox One. So
See, now this one,
Like I
is
said-
an S. I personally love.
so
this
so
one.
no. So like I
B.
said previously, how Xbox 360 was the gold standard. Now the gold standard for controllers is the Xbox One controller. It's so much of a gold standard, PlayStation's trying to copy it.
Yeah.
And which is why, and we're gonna get to it, which is why I hate the PS5 controller. Because they're trying to copy Xbox, and I don't like the Xbox One controller. I'm putting it in C.
Put it in B.
Low
I
B.
mean, all right, fine.
Yeah.
We can. Where do you
Well,
want
personally, for me,
I don't like it.
I don't know.
I have big hands. It is horrible
Yeah.
for big hands.
I also have big
That's why
hands too, and it's.
I'm kind of
I find it fine as well.
It's a little too compact, if that makes sense.
or
No,
should I
yeah.
say wide? Because I've a really wide
Yeah.
hand span. Like Brandon and I are kind of similar on ours.
Mhm.
We got them wide hands. It's the way that our lengthy fingers. It doesn't work well with like even with this. Like my hands are too lanky. I need a wider controller.
Oops,
That's why I
excuse
don't
me.
like it.
But yeah, Brendan.
Yeah, sorry. So now, after getting off the Microsoft, we now move to the PlayStation 1 controller, or known as the PlayStation controller, without the analog sticks. This is
Never mind.
No,
This is
That's
this
a
is B
PS1,
then.
my
This is-
guy.
This is
My-
B.
my bad.
No, PS1 also
Yeah,
had
B.
analog sticks. It was
Oh,
it was
this is
called
just the one without analog.
yeah. This one's the PlayStation controller, so this is the B in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is
I'll
a
go
B.
with B.
But then the second one is the dual analog controller.
I would put S if I
A.
could.
I would say
but,
A or S because technically
This
it's a B.
this is A for the dual analog. Dual Shock,
Yeah, Dual Shock on the
A.
other hand. That one's an S.
but I think
Oh, we go
sorry,
for
so
S?
sorry. That second one we just put was actually the DualShock 2
yeah, that one's an S
for the
tier.
PS2.
Yeah.
That's an S tier.
That is an
I'm
S tier
good for
controller.
S.
And
good for
then
S.
we have the it's called the 6-axis, which is technically the DualShock 3. Or no,
The PS4 controller.
this is the PS3 controller. It's the wireless one.
Wait, are we on the same image? I'm already on
All
the
right.
PS4 controller.
So the one that we just put in A. That is actually
It has the wire.
yeah, that's the PS2 controller.
Yeah.
That's S. The one that came after that, the one that didn't have the wire, that was right next to the PS4 controller, that's
Mhm.
DualShock 3.
Oh, this is PS3 then, yeah.
Yes,
Right?
that's PS2 controller.
I'm
Which
down
I
for S.
I also think it's an S.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then now we're at DualShock 4.
Yeah, PS4, I say S. That's
Yeah,
my favorite controller of all time.
PS4 is a banger of a controller.
That should have been the gold standard.
Is that
is
is that high
absolutely
S or is that-
perfect.
yeah, high S?
Oh,
Yeah.
It
I
is-
would
it is-
say
it
the
is-
top
it
is
is top
S it
tier.
could be.
Yeah, it is a
But
banger. of a controller.
PS4.
the one thing that's not on there though
Is that the PS5?
yes, is the PS5 controller.
See, that's horrible.
I actually like this design.
I don't like it at all.
I
It's
like
trying
it
to be
so
Xbox.
much.
It's trying to be Xbox. The shape and everything. It's trying to be Xbox. That's what made. I hate it.
Well, the reason why I like it now is because it's built for big hands. This is built for me. This is built for me. That's why I like it.
You know, funny. Well, the thing I don't like it is because I mean it is a bigger controller, but the thing is that I think the main reason why I like the bigger controller, like the PS4 controller, I hate this bridge
Yeah, it's the bridge down there.
because the bridge hits my finger. Because the way I hold the controller, I have my fingers wrapping around, and my middle finger hits the top, and it's just so uncomfortable. Because like, look at this. My pinky's not even on the fucking controller because I can't wrap my whole hand around it. You can't do that on a PS5 for me, but on the PS4 controller you can.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe we grip it different.
Well, for me,
But that's me.
for the PS4 controller, mine pinky was always off.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think I was able to wrap everything. I think I have a PS4 controller lying around somewhere, but I don't think I could get it in time.
It's a great controller.
Is it not on the TV stand? Where like the PS4
Let me check real quick.
Yeah, because he has the PS4 Pro over there, so he should have the thing.
Yeah, the controller for that.
But
I love it.
personally, for me, I would still put the PS5 controller in high A just because I like the design of it and it fits my hand perfectly.
Yeah, and personally,
It
wasn't
I
in
already
the
like the
thing.
Xbox One controller personally,
Okay.
but
PS4 controller.
it's great controller.
My pinky's on it. It's perfect for me. This is hit the mic. This is the perfect design for a controller. Like literally when I started using controllers on my PC or whatever, I wish like I ran into some troubles because everyone, and this is what I hate about Xbox being the gold standard, is that everything is, you know, this stuff is from Xbox. So it's not as good. But PS4 controller, gold standard.
When was the last time you
I
even
love
held
it.
a PS5 controller?
Not too long ago. I used did a thing on John's PS5 thing. But I don't know. It's because that bridge. At least for this, my finger isn't hitting the bridge. It's actually just wrapping around the thing versus with this, it kind of goes up. Like it's
Yeah, but
hitting
that's a
it.
shitty small controller.
Well, I mean,
anyways.
yeah, this is more kind of like the Pro controller, yeah. But I do remember the PS5. It's not the same. PS4 is the best.
Yeah, I don't know.
So good.
I'm
So
indifferent. I need to hold one. So, but personally, for me, I would put DualShock 5 as an A. Personally,
I'm putting it.
Even though it's not
as a B.
even though it's
yeah.
not on there, just personally.
Yeah.
But now we get into a little bit more wonkier stuff. So this next one, this banana looking one, is a Apple Pippin controller made by Apple Products, which is weird.
I forgot about this.
I never used it, so I'm putting in who, but it looks
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's a banana.
Yeah, banana.
Yeah.
If you ever want to play banana, well, thank you, Apple.
We gotta we gotta quickly appreciate the amount of variety that PlayStation / Sony has with their controllers. Because if you look at their old PlayStation 2 and like PS3 controller variants, like the Resident Evil Chainsaw controller, the Slime controller, Sony has the most variant controllers. And it's the coolest thing ever, in my opinion. Just because yes, some of them are like fucking wild, but at the end of the day, I think I would rather have like the differences rather than like the same thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just holding the PS4 controller now.
Yeah. But
It's
now
so good.
we're back to basically Father Time with the original NES controller, which is basically the Famicom, the other red one, which I personally think is a B.
Yeah.
I was
agree.
gonna say C, but I'm okay with B.
It's a
I'm
good
not
controller.
the biggest fan
like,
of it.
if
It's
you
in
s-
a
like, it's good.
it's technically the first.
Yeah, it's a good controller, and like, if you didn't know, like, people who actually speedrun, the original Super Mario, still use this controller,
Yeah, because they actually play off the original console.
and it's pretty sick. And the controller is pretty good for them to be able to handle, the types of beatings that that those speedrunners do to that poor controller.
Yeah. They also use that controller for the Tetris speed runs too.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, oh, them poor
Yeah.
controllers.
Yeah, for it being like the first technical real controller with like a D-pad and buttons,
Hmm.
it still holds up, I think.
Yeah, it's good. It's very good.
And now we're going to it's the second iteration from the Super NES controller.
The SNES.
So I
Now we
actually
have-
really like this one.
It's okay. I
No,
haven't really used I haven't
I
used
love
it
it a
as
lot
much
more
as
just
the other
because
ones.
it's rounded. It feels so much better.
Well,
Yeah, I can see that. I just haven't used it as much as the other one though.
I
Pre-
do.
I say it's a B.
B as well.
I say mid B.
Yeah, I'll put it right above the NES controller.
All right.
And now we're moving on to. That's another Super NES
Yeah.
controller.
It is.
Maybe the other one was the Famicom.
Do you know what? I want to put it in A.
They're literally
Only
the same.
B.
They're the same controller.
They're the same. They're the same controller. Yeah,
I'm
for
just-
this
I'm-
one.
Yeah, I'm still
I
putting it
kind
in
of
B
want to
though.
move it to A though.
Nah.
What's your argument for A?
My argument is because it's actually still a really popular controller.
How so?
Debatable.
Because
that is debatable.
like so remember how I said the company 8-Bit Dome? I want to say in terms of like third party controllers, they're one of the more popular ones. And they sell this
Okay.
controller.
I
still.
feel like we should leave out if they still sell it or not. This is more like our opinion on the controller rather than if it's still selling or not.
apparently the design of the controller is called the dog bone controller.
I can see that.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I was just looking on like their thing. It's called the dog bone design. But
That's
yeah,
funny.
so now I think we get into the bread and butter of Nintendo. The N64 controller.
I fucking love this control. I know you guys are gonna say S tier, but I wanted this on A tier.
You know, actually I really like this. I'd say A.
Yeah.
It is an A.
See, like this is a
I
perfect
remember
example of
playing
chunk.
fucking-
Yeah, this is a chunk controller, but the chunk is in the right places. So it's like not
It's
that
not
bad.
chunk.
No, it is chunk.
It's not chunk.
You don't remember that
No.
then because
It
this
has a
thing is
penis. That's what
this
it
thing
has.
is chunk.
No, it has it's a fork, but
It has a
it's,
penis.
it's not. I think we have different theories on chunk. Well, I think more like bubbly as chunk.
No,
It has
okay.
a chode.
Okay, Ivan, if you here go to the wiki page and go look underneath. This thing is big.
Hmm. But I mean, when we were kids, it felt fine.
Oh yeah, because
Especially
we
with
were
the Rumble
small.
Pack and everything.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you were to go and see the picture underneath on the wiki page, like you can see like this thing has like stuff underneath as well. Like it is a big
Well, yeah.
controller.
Yeah, but that's the Z trigger and then the where the Rumble Pack goes.
Yeah, it's literally
For the expansion
nunchuck.
port.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even though I didn't use this controller in my early days, not until I actually bought an X64 of my own until I started using it myself,
Mhm.
I started really liking it. So
It's
I
a
really
great-
enjoy the controller.
Great controller. I absolutely love it.
And now, so we're still putting it in A.
Hmm.
And now, I'm sorry, boys. I hate the GameCube
No,
controller for some
don't
reason.
say that.
Oh,
No,
I-
dude.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not completely with you, Brandon, but I'm also not the biggest fan of the
Oh, what?
GameCube.
This
It's
is an
an
S tier
it's-
for me.
It's an
No.
awkward controller to
No.
hold. I'm not saying it's a
It's-
bad controller. It's the most
No,
awkward
it's
controller
awkward.
to hold.
It's no. I wouldn't say it's awkward to hold, but for me, it's awkward of buttons and analog.
No,
None of it feels good, other than the buttons maybe. But the analogs is horrendous.
Well,
But
first
like,
of
look
all,
at the gap between where the D-pad and the C
oh
controller.
no, I love that gap. I love that
No,
gap.
yeah, but for
I
me,
used to
like,
stick my finger in there.
yeah, no, I don't do that. No, it just doesn't feel
Nah.
proper just to
okay,
hold it there and
so,
then like.
all right,
I don't like it because I hate the analog sticks. They're horrible. They're two separate sizes. Like the yellow one digs into your finger, and then the white one or whatever just doesn't work well at all. Because it's not smooth. Remember, it's like a hexagon. So like
Yes.
on some Nintendo games, when you're doing it, it feels like you're fucking rubbing it off when you're trying to like spin it real fast.
okay.
No, so the
It's-
hexagon is where it's a circle, a joystick, but the groove rather than it being a smooth circle like where you put
Yeah.
the stick part of it, it's hexagon like just where the C one is
Yeah,
as well.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
I'm not
I-
putting it in S, but I will put it in A.
No,
Oh,
it is
okay.
a B tier controller.
I will not. I refuse to put it in B. This is an S tier controller. If you want to bring the argument of it still selling, this controller is still selling like fucking crazy. If you want to bring that argument into the mix, this thing, people absolutely love this controller. It is a great controller
That
for
is
the
true.
games that require this type of controller to be used. Everything functions perfectly fine. You only need the one analog stick. The C stick is only used for it's not used that often, but it's there as a movement thing. And mainly people use this to play like Smash and whatnot.
It's only used for Smash.
Exactly. And a shit ton of people still play Smash. And they buy controllers like this all the time. I still use this controller when I'm playing fucking Mario Kart, dude. Like I have a on my Switch adapter, I have a GameCube adapter to use my original GameCube controller because I absolutely love how this thing feels when you play. Because it's a good
Yeah.
console. A good console. Good controller.
I don't know. It's just comfortability. It just isn't there for me. Especially with the button layouts, like Ivan said. That's why I put it as like a low B.
I'm okay with putting it in
I
A.
can compromise A. I will not put it in B, Brandon. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
This controller is not a B controller. If you're comparing it to literally any other controllers in B, it is nowhere near that close. I can agree. It's similar to like the DualShock and the PS5, PS5 Pro, the whatchamacallit? Man, I'm blanking right now. The Switch Pro, the Switch controller. Like I can agree with that. It's similar to that, but it's not S tier, sadly, to you boys.
My light died. I am full on Mexican mode.
Oh, great.
Mexican sepia filter.
But anyways,
We're gonna move on to this is a double. This is the Wiimote and then the nunchuck.
S.
This is an S tier with the nunchuck.
S. S.
with nunchuck S tier. Without nunchuck, it's like
Yes.
an A.
Yeah.
No, it's still S for me.
Yeah, so it is still S.
Either
Especially-
way, I played I played the Smash Bros.
Super
with
Slugger.
the sideway.
I played Mario Super Slugger. A
Yeah,
shit ton.
I can play that all day with the Wii controller.
And plus,
ergonomic
you can
and
act, especially
everything.
with the Wii wheel too.
Oh, the Wii wheel.
wheel.
There was also
Yeah.
a Wii gun where you attach the nunchuck to the back.
Yes. Yep.
It was great.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's I don't know. For as simple and small as it is, it's so fucking good. You only gotta have it with the strap.
Yeah, the only issue I have with the console is the sensor bar sometimes can fuck up and it does the little spasms.
I never really had that problem.
We had that problem on our Wii.
I've
near the
never
end of
had
its
that
life.
problem.
I want.
And then to round it all off, we have the classic controller. This one you
This
actually
is
plug into the
actually
Wii.
for the Wii U.
No, this is for the Wii.
This is for the Wii. You chuckle.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
It is little. It is. I know this because I
Oh,
used
my
this.
bad. Sorry. No, my bad.
But you're still on the
Yeah,
Wii U,
no,
brother.
you're right.
Let it go. Come on.
I'm still thinking about the Wii U.
This
I'm
is
still thinking
the
about the Wii U.
classic controller.
Yeah.
Which
I've actually never really used this at all.
I've used this all the fucking time because that Wii I gave you, Ivan. When I played WWE on that, I would use that controller because I had one and it was the best feeling to use that. And a lot of the other games, like shooter games, personally,
Yeah.
it was so simple and yet so small. I'd personally, for nostalgic reasons, I put it in the A, but it's like a high B for me. That's what I would do, at least.
Personally, I'm just not.
Technically, I'm putting this in the Who category.
You're putting in
because
Who?
I actually don't remember ever using that
Really?
ever in my life.
I gave you that controller when I gave you my Wii.
Really? I don't remember this.
Yes.
Oh, well,
it's
then I
just-
definitely don't use it.
Brandon, where did you put it again?
Depending on where you gave it, I gave it a low A to a high B.
Okay, I can. Okay, I'll give it a high B just due to the fact I'm not a fan of when the cord comes from below. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that's horrible design.
No, it doesn't come from below. That's just the picture. Oh no, it
Are you
does.
sure?
What the
Yeah.
fuck? I don't remember it coming from below for some reason.
Yeah, it comes
Yeah,
from below.
that's-
That's horrible design.
Wow. That I don't know. I still love it though.
Yeah, it's a good controller. It's just like if it came out from the top, I'd probably be more lenient on it, but it comes from below.
But
so I
then
have to,
again, like this, you're attaching this to the actual Wii mode, so you're not actually like you can actually have free roam with this
yeah, true.
and have like the Wii mode in your pocket.
But yeah,
But
but
yeah, so
that's
that rounds off our tier list. So definitively, literally all the PlayStation controllers except for the 5 and the 1 are in S tier, and then the Wiimote and Nunchuck are in S tier. That seems about right.
I mean, I wish the P. Yeah, no, never mind.
Wait, I thought we put the
Yeah.
DualShock 2 in A, not S.
What do you mean?
Is it
DualShock 2 is DualShock 2 is was the one with the wire and the
Yeah.
analog sticks.
Yeah, and I put that in A. I thought we agreed
Brother,
on A.
what? No.
I'm putting all on S.
You put it all in S? I mean, all right, we can put it in S, but
They're perfect controllers.
Because the PS1 analog, the PS1 DualShock is it's good. It's not as good as the DualShock 2.
Mhm.
Because I own one, so. Oh well,
Liddy.
so there's actually two different analogs. There's dual analog, where instead of like the analog sticks having like the outward bulge, it has any bulge.
Any bulge.
It's weird. But anyways, we're gonna wrap this one up. So thank you so much for listening and watching. However you consume our content, you can check all of our socials in the description down below. Give us all the likes, share, subscribe, comment, rate, all that. Got anything to say, fellas, before we skedaddle skedoodle?
I'm right. You're wrong.
let
About
us
the Wii
know.
U.
Let us know in the comments below if the Wii U is a controller or not.
And with
No,
that
it's
being
gamepad.
said, we'll see you guys in the next one. See you later, stinky.
Yeah.